I want to tell you a story. Recently, I was stranded in the Norfolk countryside for a week. Well, I say stranded, it was a holiday, but with limited Wi-Fi and no guitars, which could easily make me go a bit weird, especially with what felt like 100 children waking up and crying at 7 AM. What could have possibly upset you at 7 AM? Nothing's happened yet, but anyway. I didn't know what to do with myself for a lot of the time. There weren't many sights to see, so I spent some time away from the campsite walking through the forests and overgrown open countryside. That kind of headspace really allows you to think in new ways or kind of connect dots that wouldn't normally get connected. In the studio, it's really easy to fall into routines of using the same tools, the same audio plugins, the same song structures. So with limited space for music tools, and this was a holiday, remember, I opted to smuggle in ukulele and the Novation Circuit. The Circuit is a great and flexible little groove box. It's one of my favourite ways to create simple loops and track templates. I know it pretty well and I feel like I've really plumbed the depths of what the synth can do, but the space I was afforded in the Norfolk countryside got me thinking about trying some things that probably wouldn't have occurred to me otherwise. These ideas turned into unnamed musical experiments 5 and 6, which you may have already heard on this channel, and there's another one on the way sometime soon. Those first couple ideas involve creating pads with slight randomization, verging on aleatoric music as there's only a couple of elements you can actually control. For the first idea, I set the tempo as slow as possible and randomly selected steps to play different octaves of the root and a fifth every now and again. I did this for both of the two synths, but I set the lengths of each phrase to be different so that only very rarely would they sync up. I added a crap load of delay and reverb, automated some of the synth parameters, and there we go, there's a fun, evolving pad with a level of randomization. I can then fade it in and out with the master volume or filter knob, altering the pitch from the scale selection window, kind of treating it as a keyboard. The second idea was similar to and inspired by the first. I created another slightly aleatoric pad, but this time set the tempo to as fast as possible. The speed with which the notes were played meant that it was even easier to use the scale selection window as a keyboard, either changing the pitch of drones or playing melodies. Idea number 3 was a complete tangent from the previous two. I remember learning a while ago that if you increase the speed at which a sample repeats, eventually you stop perceiving it as a repeated sound and start to hear it as a single tone. I looped a single drum hit and played it back at various tempos, which created various pitches. At the time of recording, I'm not 100% sure on how I'll integrate this into a track, so I guess let's wait and see. Hopefully you'll take a few things away from this video. The ideas I demonstrated about using the circuit are yours to use if you want to, but I think the idea of headspace is super important. I've talked about creative restrictions before, but I think space and a change of scenery can also be really powerful. Thanks for watching this slightly more philosophical video. I hope you got something out of it, and I'd really like to hear your thoughts on what I covered here in the comments below. If you've not yet seen my unnamed experiments, I've put one on the screen right now. I suggest you have a watch. Thanks again, and I'll see you next Friday.